It might be a little bit unexpected, but Carl is a karaoke champion.
Go Carl!
That's right, go Carl. Carl, you're just a blessing in my life. I just need you to know that in many ways. But this, actually, Carl's not our next speaker. Michael is our next speaker. And what can I say about Michael? Michael and I go back. We talked today. But something unexpected about Michael. Did you know that he spent a summer in jail? He was a chaplain. He also, like Jackson, my co-MC, he's not wearing overalls, but he grew up on a farm as well, in Brant County. And he now hails from the Buchanan neighborhood on the Hamilton Mountain. And I'm going to invite Michael up to come and speak with us. Michael Bootsma, where are you? There he is.
Who's in the back there? Is it working? Can you hear me? Well, you're in the front seat. Those in the back, can you hear me? Okay, we're good now. So I've been pastoring for some 32 years now, and I've seen a few things. But only once have I wanted to throw in the towel. It happened on September 1st last year. My wife and I were preparing to attend the Labor Day Classic, Ticats versus Argos, when my phone buzzed. "He didn't make it through the night," she said. And so rather than going down to Hamilton Stadium, I found myself traveling east along Mohawk Road. And I had journeyed this road before. The first time it was Jeremy, first-year college student, dead in a car crash. His dad called at 5 o'clock in the morning. And so as the sun rose, I sat with his parents and his siblings in their living room. And when I close my eyes, I can still see the anguish, the confusion, and the pain on their faces. The second time I traveled this road was because of Peter, in his early 20s, also dead in a car crash. The call came from his uncle just as we were waking up. Now, Peter, he had been hearing impaired from a very early age, and his parents and his sister had nurtured him through the years, and he had become a vibrant, lively, and delightful young man. And once a month, our church hired a person to sign the service for him. Still today, I can see his dad curled up on the couch in the fetal form, unable to work his farm. His mother stoic in the kitchen, preparing food. And his sister's panicked phone call, "Come, help my dad. We don't know how to help him." Well, Peter was the second. Devin was the third. Devin's dad had died when Devin was still young. And so his grandparents had taken him in and cared for him. And when Devin was 17, on the anniversary of his dad's death, he didn't come down for breakfast. He had died in the night of a rare form of pneumonia. His grandparents never returned to church. Because of Jeremy and Peter and Devin, I knew this road too well. And here I was once again, called to a home because a young man had not survived the night. I knew something of the pain this family would face. Lord, I found myself praying if screams from the heart can be called prayer. Release me from this calling. I don't want to travel this road again. This time it was Ryland, who loved playing bass guitar. For several years, he sat right at the end of that piano, playing his bass guitar, never drawing attention to himself, just playing. It was his act of worship. Some of you will remember him. He was in the band at Philpott last year for this conference. I didn't want to see the faces of his family. I didn't want to hear their anguished cries. I didn't want to walk this road with them. And so he asked me, how did Jesus show up? Well, first, he did not release me from this ministry. He sent me to that home. Somehow, the knowledge that he was sending me strengthened me. And so I went, and I sat with his parents and his siblings. This time, an elder and her husband joined. And so I wasn't alone. They were Jesus to me. There is strength in numbers. The following Sunday, I led worship right here. I looked out on a shell-shocked congregation with some faces so contorted in grief that I didn't even recognize them. I've never led worship with so many tears on my face. And yet, somehow, that service was a balm for my soul. In it, God fortified me to lead Ryland's funeral and all the care that needed to follow after that. September 2025, a month steeped in grief. We were still steeped in that grief when, well, let me pause for a moment and tell you about Lita. Lita's husband, Gerald, was already ill when I arrived here in 2019. And he spent 5 years slowly dying under Lita's unwavering and unending care. Gerald finally succumbed to his illness in September in 2024, just after his 70th birthday. Now, in the course of their marriage, Lita and Gerald had fostered 103 children, almost all of them spending time in this building. So you can imagine the way the congregation viewed Gerald and Lita. Of those 103, they adopted 4. One of those 4 was their son Alex, who settled in BC with his wife and 4 children. They were all here for Gerald's final days and his funeral. And then, having returned to BC, they went back to work. And on her way home from her first shift at work, Alex's wife suffered a coronary arrest. She dropped to the pavement. A stranger called 911. Paramedics revived her heart, but she never regained consciousness. She lay in a coma for 9 months until family was ready to let her go. And so in July of 2025, Lita went to BC for another funeral. In late August, she celebrated her 70th birthday. We had a big party in her backyard. Half the church was there. It was the start of a new life for her. We all wondered what new possibilities lay before her. And then as September came to an end, I got another phone call. Lita's dead. Died at home, alone. Her daughter, Josina, along with 2 other family members, found her. And so Josina, also this congregation, is left behind to deal with these losses and her parents' estate. But this is a story of an unexpected Jesus. This, my story, is about how he showed up in grief. And here's how I saw him. Members of the church congregation set up a meal train to provide food for Ryland's family. 3.5 months of dinners. That's a lot of food. So there were times when I had made an arrangement to meet with the family of an evening. And then I would get a text. Can we make it next week? The folks bringing dinner, they're staying to eat it with us. Not sure how long they're going to stay. That was grace at work over a meal. I still get periodic texts from Ryland's dad telling me how God has been encouraging him. Experts in real estate and banking and legal matters took Josina under their wings to guide her through the matters that she was facing and to hear her stories and her grief. The elders of the church and so many others stepped up and brought consolation. And I had a front row seat to the arms of Jesus. I saw him in the presence of the congregation. My dear friends, that is a beautiful thing. And every Sunday morning, well, most Sundays, I lead worship here. And several times, a very unreformed thing happened. I could almost see the arms of God surrounding this congregation, holding us in our grief and confusion. Late in the fall, Ryland's dad took his place among our worship leaders again. And just a few Sundays ago, Ryland's twin brothers joined us on percussion. Sometimes the tears still flow, but we'll be all right. Jesus will see to it. And so let me end with this. In Romans, Paul writes, we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope. Now that's a tough text. It's a tough text to preach on. But I've discovered it's true. Last Labor Day, I felt very hopeless. And I really did want to quit. But today, I understand a little bit more about how suffering can lead to hope.